where it's at. Ain't where it's at. All right, thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon. We need a water. Hi, everybody. Here we are. It's Dress Rehearsal Tuesday, the third one that we started up after the summer, after that first big COVID scare, which appears is raising its ugly little head once again, or its big head, or whatever head it's got. Seems to be spreading, or more, how do I put this? The more people that they test, the more people they find out have got it, right? Of course. So if they're only testing 800 cases, and you know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's get some more tests going so we know just exactly where it sits, and we have the idea of the exact numbers that are being happening, right? So if it is, we should all get behind making sure that we can put a stop to it, or at least keep it down to a dull roar. And I personally don't believe it's a hoax. We've lost one family member in our clan back in Ontario in her late 50s. No, you know, it's... And you know what I heard? Did you know that Toots? Tim, did you know this?
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah? Yeah, but did you hear that he had just been tested for COVID?
No.
And so there's a slight connection that it hasn't really been said, but boy, that sure would change the world around if we found out that that's what took him, right? Or helped the complications. Anyway, yeah. Well, he's old.
75?
Hey, 75 is not old, buddy. I can say that because I have friends of mine that are 75. Eugene Smith is back in town. He's going to be here next Tuesday. Yepper. He's going to be doing a radio show, too, back in Ontario, which we're going to simulcast here and go to there. And there's a whole bunch of weird connections that are going to happen. But that's why we got Dr. Ted Cadillac. He figures all that out for us. That's why we were able to live stream out of the showroom this year. Woodstock. It's a virtual special Woodstock. Wow, man, that was what a compilation of putting various things throughout the week and getting it all put together so it came out as one big show, live and with recorded stuff. It was pretty much a flawless day. It was pretty cool. How many acts was there? 40 acts in 8, 9, 10 hours. No pee breaks. It was a terrible day. No, it was a wonderful day. It was, but you know, matter of fact, it went rather fast. It was almost like watching the 39 Days of July. When you get to a certain point where you're on the backside, well, we got into about hour 6, I think it was, and I looked at Shelley and I said, Shelley, we're on our way out. Enjoy it now because every moment is precious because pretty soon, without knowing it, the show's going to be over and all that energy will be dispersed out to the public and you'll just have to sit back and remember it. But at least with virtual, you can go back and watch it, right? So tonight, anyway, is open mic. And open mic is basically an idea here, as I call it, Dress Rehearsal Tuesday. And that is because if you're in theater or anything of that nature, well, at least when I was, they have a thing called dress rehearsal. And that's the show just before you go to opening. And that's the show where you give it your all, you do your testing, you find out where it is. And if you do make a mistake, no one's really going to get upset with you because it's a dress rehearsal, right? It's not, you're on the money, but you don't, you know, like there's a little slack given to you. And that's the nice thing about Dress Rehearsal Tuesday. There's no pressure. The only pressure put on it is you, the person who's up here, putting the pressure on themselves. And that's why we hope that audiences out there will put out that energy that allows them to feel comfortable, right? Because next time it could be you up on the stage. And everyone knows that getting up on the stage has it's fun. It's great, but there's a little nervousness that goes with it. There's a whole bunch of things that can set you off a little times. Well, I'm not ready. Well, too late. You're up there anyway. You know, so you got to learn how to make all that happen. So usually we're doing people that have recorded, who are accomplished musicians who are bringing in new material. They want to try it out, right? They want to test it out. There's other people that come along who want to try out just singing on stage, right? They've got a repertoire of songs and they want to make sure they can still do them and test the waters and see how they can do variations of it. Then some of the people are up here for the very first time, and that's always cool when they do that because I remember seeing, Mr. James Myers. James Myers, when he first got up here, he was nervous as heck. And now look at him. He's doing theater, going to theater school. As a matter of fact, he's left the valley. He's over there. And by the way, Jared Potma, another great person from here. Today, this is so funny. I'm at home. Chaos. Chaos? What's that song they're famous for? You know the one, though, eh? Right, okay. I've never really put it together. The only place I've ever heard that song was Jared Potma with his looper doing all the things and adding it up, making it big. And so I actually heard the original today and put the two and two together. Wow. And Jared right now is up in Nanaimo. He moved out there last week. He's going to be taking jazz classes up at the VIU. He's going to be a full-time student up there. I can only imagine what he's going to come out with, that guy. He's another one of those shining stars that came from the Cowichan Valley. Thanks to all the parents who've always encouraged their kids to be part of the arts, right? And anybody who encourages people to be part of the arts needs a big slap on the back of congratulations, because it's the arts are important no matter what's going on. Well, sure, I keep on wondering why they're trying to put sort of a mask over the arts, isn't it? Oh, by the way, there's a friend of mine, the guy who gave me the train set upstairs, right? The guy who helped build that train set, that really big one, got thrown at a dollar store yesterday. He was wearing his mask. He said, "You must wear a mask." So he went in and he had a Lone Ranger mask on. And then he showed the sign and it showed him having to leave. Oh, well. You got to have fun with pandemic, don't you? And you got to notice what's going on in the world and see how the things are and say those things and get a chance to voice them and find out ways whether or not you can make it into a comedic relief, which is always fun. Young Duncan here, he's been wanting to do this. This is his third time in 3 weeks. So he's coming back, and his whole idea is getting across what he feels, what he sees, sometimes in the political stream and all that. You have to search deep for the humor, but don't forget people like Mort Saul and all those other people who wrote that kind of stuff. Some of the irony's there. We're going to find out. We're going to help him develop it, because one of the things is he keeps on coming back. And if he keeps on coming back, I know there's a little glint in his eye each time he does, and he does it differently each and every time. He just improves. So as we go searching to find out where he's going to end up, please, Duncan, it's your stage time.
All right, so thank you. I mean, this is my third time, and I really feel that this is exactly what I want to do. I guess like one of the things, to actually tell some jokes. I mean, for example, man, there's a fog that goes across the road basically, and the fog does not know where to go basically. So where is the road? Where is the direction? And so the fog has two choices. Either it can go straight or it can go sideways. If the fog chooses to go sideways, he's going to get run over. But if the fog goes straight and trusts the direction of the traffic, he's going to make it to the other side. But basically, if the fog goes sideways and they takes a chance, then it tells me that the fog does not have any direction. But if the fog keeps going straight and it goes straight and straight and straight and it keeps going until it's just woods and it's going a path, and the fog is accomplished what it wanted to accomplish, and it's near the lake, and they can go jump in a pond and get swimming. So the fog, and then basically, the fog goes to the farmer, and the farmer is drunk, basically, been drinking all day. So probably he's been having all these beers, and he's getting drunk all the time. And it says, "Hey, do you want a beer, Foggy?" And the Foggy has to inhale the alcohol from the farmer. And it's funny because the farmer itself, basically, is stoned. He's been smoking weed all day, man, and he's just basically, and he's planting all the crops, basically, and the crops are coming up. But then again, he cannot basically keep them going because all the alcohol in the system, always crops going here, crops going that way, crops going 10 feet high, crops going 2 feet high, all of them going in opposite direction. And I feel that then he sees the fog and says, "Do you want to help me?" And the fog jumps on the crops, and he magically makes them 20 feet high, and that's great. And it's thinking, the farmer says, Yahoo, we got it. And so, yes, the second part of the joke is the fact that now basically, man, the farmer goes to the banker. And now the banker basically says, I mean, like, how much you want to invest in the actual business? And the farmer says, invest like $1 million or $1 million in crack money that I used to actually sell crack for 20 years before I became a farmer. And the banker says, okay, I mean, I can put the money in the bank for you and you can actually invest it. And the farmer says, great, here's the money, here's $1 million basically. And the banker says, great, we can put that in a basically GIC and we can save it up. And then the farmer says, great, now my money is in a safe place. Now I can go get more pot and more crack and basically keep smoking it so I can raise more crops. And then basically, man, it just gets to the point where like the farmer says, now I got all these crops and how am I gonna feed the whole society? And the people come into my farm, oh, I need food basically, and the farmer says, buy my crack. And then like basically, man, and the people buy the crack because they think that it's gonna feed them. And then the farmer says, well, nice, you can take all of it, take all my crack, take all my booze and alcohol, man, you can feed everybody. And so like, and so the second part of it is if you go to restaurants and like the restaurants say, if you want, say to the farmer, do you want crack? And it's like, oh yeah, we need more crack and alcohol so we can go to the brew pub on a Friday night basically and actually have all the alcohol in the brew pub. And like you probably, and the farmer asks, I mean, like, where does it come from? And the restaurateur says, well, it comes from a distillery on the island. But the farmer says, I grow it in my farm. And then I'm like, do we really know what's in alcohol? Do we really know what's in the drugs or the weed? Is there some chemicals? And the farmer says, yes, there is chemicals because I grow it myself. And I guess switching subjects basically about the fact that I'm like, what are these drugs doing here? These drugs are out there basically to make kids jump up and down. I mean, like, you get the Ritalin, you get the drugs for ADHD. Those drugs, I mean, like, why do we give it to the kids to make them high? I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like, we're gonna make them high. We're gonna make them jump up and down. We're gonna make them so excited they're gonna bounce off the walls, man, and that's great. But then again, it's awesome that the teachers don't even know how to contain these kids because they're so hyper. And like the drugstores keep selling these kids Ritalin, keep giving them the Ritalin, and now they're gonna have it so they can function better in school. But like, what does it do for their academic performance? Does it increase it? It does. But if the kids are so high in it, then they're not gonna forget about anything else. They're gonna think about, oh, I need that drug so I can continue to do well in school. But here's the but. I mean, it doesn't fix it. Because the problem is not with the kids. The problem is with the scientists who create these drugs. Because they don't know the side effects, right? They don't know what's in the drugs. It could be anything in the drugs. And so, and the third thing is that, why do we test IQ? We test IQ because we want to know how smart the kid is. But the kid, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has flaws and weaknesses, right? I mean, like, IQ stands for ignorant narcissism. And what that basically means is that people don't even know what IQ is. It's basically the psychologists who test IQ, basically, man, they don't even know that it's a valid measure. And they think, okay, we're going to test IQ because we're going to see how smart the kid is. But the kid is already smart, so what do we have to test? We could test the fact that they're ignorant? Maybe, but maybe not. You see, IQ itself, basically, man, is a bogus idea that was created by Bill Gates. Bill Gates is like one of the most weird scientists the world has ever seen. It is quite awesome that Bill Gates has all this money, but he gets it from Donald Trump. And that's all I got for tonight, guys. Thanks for listening.
Now you got to know that part of that was improv because some of that stuff we were talking about just prior to, and I heard some of that and I went, "Wow, okay, that's cool." He's finding his style. You know, whatever's there, you speak it up, you talk about it. You brought up some interesting points too. We got to start wondering, start seriously thinking what's coming up. Do you realize that Trump is not that far behind Biden? Like at this point, you would figure in the polling that there would be just like landslide the other, like one, like how could anybody? But you got to remember, well, who believes the polls? Who believes anything anymore? There is a little adage that I saw once. I took out of a book and I really enjoyed it. It was this: truths are those things which you experience. Everything else is hearsay. So unless you experience it in your life, unless you put your hand on that burner to find out what a heat burn does and how it bulbs up and does everything, you'll never know until you've done it. Or if you ever played with plastic soldiers when you were a kid and you burnt them and the little plastic wax fell and it burnt and you couldn't get it off, you only have to do that once and then maybe later on in life twice just to remind yourself why it hurts so damn much. Thank you very much. No, you got me. Anyway, there's some bigger things to worry about in life, but let arts and let the music take you away from it. Find your favorite song, listen to it as often as you can. Around the house, dance to it as often as you can. Make those moves, find that grooves, enjoy it. Let music be the healing agent no matter what they bring to us. They seem to be wanting to shut it down, or it seems to be going in a direction that it's going to be shut down. We're not going to let that happen. We're going to keep the Duncan Showroom going as hard and as long as we can. There's so many things to think about, but I'm sure we can get it together. We got a lot of shows coming up in the next little while. They can have attendance if everyone wears a mask, just to go by the rules, that's all, just to go by the protocol rules. Because we're set up in such a way that all the chairs face the front, no one ever has their back to the stage. There's no reason for you not to be engaged by the performer on stage. Doesn't matter who it is. You'll find out a way to be engaged to it, right? And that way there's no other conversation going on. So there's no speaking. It's just people sitting. If they have their masks on, we can maybe get 30, 40 people in here and can make a show go of it. We need the numbers to make it work, same as the local restaurants. You know, they've all been incapacitated with their numbers and their hours of operation. So when they are open, you got to go out and support them or else they're not going to be there, right? And that's what it is about shopping local. And where you get the money, I don't know. Serb? Well, the economy is going to keep on going. People are making money. Some of those that are making money have to sit back and realize that not everyone is making money. So while you're up there on the glory train having a good time making all that extra cash, remember there are people out there who could use some of that. So support it by supporting local. Don't buy out of the area if you have to, right? You don't have to. Everything's around here. Why buy apples at a store when you can buy apples from a farmer, right? So go looking around, check it out, find out where they are. Check out the farmers market on Saturday. Do all those things that help to make our community a better community and a long and lasting community. Because we will get through this like every other place will. But remember that we do live in a rather fun place to be. By the way, this week coming out on the Couch Valley Citizen, they had one of those vote things that went on for about 2 or 3 weeks, right? Where the most popular restaurant, the most the best festival, the best food, the best restaurant, the best cafe, the best dessert, the best hotel, the best every little thing that goes on. Live music venue. Well, the Duncan Showroom came in second to Lake Town Ranch, which, you know, Lake Town Ranch is like, that probably is one of the premier stages in North America. Great kudos to Greg Adams for taking note that if you're going to invite the people that are big to come and play, then you've got to make sure the stage they're going to be playing on and all the all the shit that goes with it. is in place, right? And he's done a really good job with that. And I bow to that place, the Lake Town Ranch. I haven't actually had the opportunity to be there yet, but the photos I've seen and all the people I know that have been there, it is a perfectly well done stage. A lot of
It's
time and
beautiful,
effort.
but just doesn't sound as good as here.
Right. Well, yes, that's true. But hey, one thing that did happen was the 39 Days of July, right? #1 festival in the valley. We beat out Sunfest. We beat out Sunfest. And Lake Town Days, wherever it was, that other one, right? So those are Shakedown, Lake Town Shakedown. So that's like, when you take a look at those are young rockers, that kind of energy, and then you got the country energy, and then there was us, the one who encompasses all styles of music, won the contest. Of course, I was in there punching every day and sending it out to my friends to do that. And that means I get to take an ad out in the Cowichan Valley Citizen so I can show off my little ribbon. I think there was a ploy there. I don't know how they did it, but for the first time in a long time, a newspaper got some money out of us to advertise. But we just want to celebrate, because I want to thank the people who did vote in. It wasn't just me. We didn't win on 10 votes. We must have won on a whole bunch more than that. So thank you very much for those who did vote for us. You'll see about it on Thursday. So right now, we're going to call it an evening. What a way to spend a half hour. I want to thank the 2 audience members that came out tonight. Strong supporters, not only financially, but with their presence. They're always being here when we need them, right? We had some great conversations tonight, too. We delved into the whole politics of life and everything else that goes on. And remember, just before, which brings me to a point, just before COVID hit in March, Marcia, who's in the audience, and I were talking for about 4 or 5 months before that. We were bringing up the subject quite a bit about how Hughes Room in Toronto was having a hard go of it, right? And having to reassess whether they were doing it. And because the rents were going up, the taxes were going up, all these things were happening, and it was making it very difficult for venues back in Ontario to stay open. And other venues across, like Herman's down in Victoria, all the other ones of any great renown have been closing because it's just difficult to stay open, not only because of their rents, but because the people aren't going out as much as they can. And they're not supporting music. They're accepting the fact that everything is for free. All that music you listen to was created by someone. Well, we're doing a video for some people. I'm not. This Duncan Showroom Productions are. And we're doing a video of 7 songs. And we just got through one video. And as it was pointed out that to change 17 seconds can take 24 hours of time. To change 17 seconds on a video, right? So when you see all the time and effort and the production that goes into that, who's paying for that? We're not doing it just for the love of it. We're doing it to make sure that creativity and perfection can be there, and we can set this bar and the standards and maintain those standards and make sure that people strive for the goodness of it all. So that needs to be helped out some way by production, and not everybody gets to put gangbuster movies out and stuff like that. There's a lot of individual and independent things going on. So every time you see something that you can support and you feel good about it, do delve into your pocketbook. It doesn't have to be $100. It can be $10. It can be $5. Anytime I get any money that comes through our coffers here to the showroom, every part of it is, wow, that's support for what we're doing, right? That's a vote, you know, and although we do appreciate the people who donate $1,000 and $2,000 and over a year $10,000, you know, we appreciate all those people. But we also appreciate the person who throws in $5 or $2 or whatever, just to show that they have appreciation. One lady during the whole 39 days of July came down here about once every 2 weeks. On her payday, she came in and put $20 in her thing, because when she was coming to work, she got a chance to listen to it on the bus, because she couldn't be down here. So she had this little thing about watching it on live, and she felt obligated within herself to pay for it somehow. So we accepted it most graciously, and we encourage everyone to do that so that we can keep it open. Trust me, we're not making money. We're just going further in debt, but that shouldn't be happening, because I don't know how much further I can go in debt. I didn't know you could dig a hole this deep. But we're having fun anyway, and I hope you're having fun. So tonight I'm going to say goodnight, and thank you for listening to me rabble. Good night.